Hi guys. Hey, I've had quite a few questions about the modifications I've done to my Harbor Freight 20-ton hydraulic press. So I thought I'd do a little video just to kind of show you some of the things I've done with it. And by the way, this is the part number 60603 press. There's two different presses they sell that look almost identical. The difference is the 60603 model is bolted together up here, and it's bolted together, and the other one is welded together. And sometimes, I'm not saying they all are, but sometimes those welded ones are not quite straight, they're crooked, and you don't really know how well they're welded. So the 60603 is the one that seems most people like, including me. That way you can square it up when you assemble it and make sure it's all right. Now, some of the things I've done to it are I've changed out the bolts to good grade 8 bolts. They originally came with a long bolt that goes all the way through, but if you tighten it up, it tends to squish and bend in the verticals here. So I replaced them with 8 grade 8 bolts here for better strength, and that way it's not compressing it. Another thing I've done is added some clips to hold the handle on up here. And these are just like broom clips. I think I got at the True Value hardware store. Another thing is the air over hydraulic jack upgrade. This is a 20-ton jack like the one that came with it, but this has the air connection. So I don't have it hooked up here. I guess I should have, but it's got an air hose connection. And basically the way I use this is, when I get something ready to press, I'll use the air control to bring the ram down just about the point where it's touching it. And then if I want to have better control, then I'll use a handle to jack it slowly the rest of the way. So it just makes it a lot quicker and easier to use. Another thing I have is a nice knob that fits on the jack relief valve. Instead of having to use your handle with the slots in it to go in these little pins and fuss with all that, I found this on eBay. There's a guy who makes them. I don't know, they're like $12 or $15, but they're beautifully machined. It just fits right there on the, snaps right onto the handle, makes it really easy to open and close the valve. Let's see, another thing is the casters. I put just some basic casters that have little locking levers on them on the base, because I usually keep this rolled out of the way and just roll it out here when I need it. So those are really handy, makes it a lot more versatile. Now, probably the last thing and probably the biggest change I did was I made this winch system. And this is for raising and lowering the table. Now, this table's pretty heavy, and when you have plates on it, and I use other fixtures sometimes on here, I may need to raise or lower it. And if you don't have, without the winch system, you got to take all the stuff off, remove a pin, both pins, lower it down, slip the pins in while you're holding the table. It's just tricky, and it's kind of hard to do. So I made this winch system up, and it's really simple. It's just, well, I guess I'll start over here with the winch itself. This is just a simple $20 Harbor Freight boat winch, and I welded a plate onto the vertical here so the winch could bolt to it. And so I ran the cable through the winch, but instead of having it just ending on this clip, I stretched the cable out and made this clip the halfway point of the cable, and then wound it up so I have the cable coming out the bottom, and it just uses a clamp and a little shackle here with a hole drilled in the cross piece here to attach it. And then the other one goes up, and I got a couple of pulleys from True Value. These pulleys had little pivot swivels on the end. I just took those off so I could bolt them, and you can see over here, so they just bolt into the onto the side, and then the cable runs up through that. Now, to keep the cable tight on the pulleys, I made this piece here. It's just I think it's a 3/8 bolt, and then I have a piece of hollow tubing over it. So this is a pivot, so it'll spin. This is actually a little oil hole, so I can oil it periodically, and that keeps the cable tight down on the pulleys. So it's really simple. I'll try to show you with I only have one hand here with the camera, but by cranking it, you can see I can easily raise the table up, and then it locks, and then I can reposition the pins where they need to, and then you just release the release lever to unwind it to let it go down again. So it's a pretty simple thing. Just all simple, Harbor Freight winch and a few parts from the hardware store. And it was pretty easy to do. So I think that's about everything. I wanted to show you kind of firsthand. It's gotten easier than showing a few pictures or trying to describe it. But I've been very, very pleased with this press. I've done a lot of things with it. It's very powerful for home use. I've done quite a few tough jobs with it, and it's pressed them out every time without a problem. But the upgrades I made here just makes this a whole lot easier and more user-friendly to use. So anyway, I hope that helps some of you. If you got any questions, let me know. Thanks.